Hey, sports fans, PBnZ Sports Chaos. It's college game day. Yes, it's game day morning, and we're doing our game day morning show. First of all, though, shout out to the Sox. They played great. They got to the league championship series. They looked like they were going to take this thing. They're up 2-1 and rolling, 23 runs in 3 games. And then the offense went kaput. Unbelievable. 2 shutouts by the Astros. The Pukes move on. The Pukes move on. You had the Bucks, though. You had the Bucks beating the Astros, right? The Rays. I mean, the Rays beating the Astros, right?
Yeah, I didn't think the Sox get past the Rays, but they did. So, but
you're right. I got a question, Cora. I know he's had a great postseason run since he's been here, but Lefty was pitching the other night. Bobby Dalbec, a righty, sat on the bench the whole game. I don't get it. You had Verdugo struggling. You had Kyle Schwarber struggling, both lefties. Should have been a righty in that lineup, and especially at first base. Schwarber dropped the ball. Would have helped Sale get out of the inning, but no, it lasted. And he ended up giving up 5 runs, or they scored 5 runs, as you say, in that inning. Bad managing by Cora, in my opinion. By the way, Dodgers, they apparently had the Braves where they wanted, right? Down 3-1. They won.
Yeah.
Going last game in LA. Now they have to go to Atlanta down 3-2, but this happened last year, right?
Yeah, they're hanging in there. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Ben Simmons. He takes Kyrie off the hot seat this week. Ben Simmons is this week's idiot of the week. And somewhere Urban Meyer is smiling very happily at this point in time because he's no longer in the news thanks to these morons. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to do an NBA preview show, but maybe we'll do that early next week, PB, right?
All right.
Hey, by the way, your Panthers are what, 4-0? You went to the game that night in hockey?
Yeah, I went to the game against the Avalanche. They took care of them 4-1. Same score. They beat the Lightning 2 days before that. So they're beating 2 powerhouses early on here in the season. I know it's early, but they really look good. Goaltending looks good. Fun game to watch, and they're going to be right there in the end.
Yeah, by the way, the NFL's Panthers were saying the same thing when they were 3-0. What are they now, 3-3? By the way, the Heat looked good in their home opener. They blew out the defending champs by 42 points, huh?
Wow, that was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Show. Unbelievable. All right, let's get into college football. A little surprised the news just came out the other day down at LSU. Ed Orgeron won a national championship this 2 seasons ago. Last year was COVID. You had to give them some leeway for that. And they already said he's done at the end of the season. That's a tough blow. Good luck, LSU, trying to find somebody to replace him and be a winner in the tough SEC, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, man. Hey, by the way, Iowa, they're gone. They're out of the top 10 after that big upset to the Boilermakers. Cincinnati moves up. Big game coming up in a few weeks. November 20th. SMU is quietly now 7-0. They play Cincinnati. Both could be undefeated at that point in time. That should be a good game. We'll see. Let's get into our picks. Last week you did very well, PB, 3-1, right?
Yeah, 3 and couple. I think I've had 3 weeks in a row now, 3-1.
You're smoking. I was 2-2. G Money again proves he knows nothing about college. I guess he was 1-3 once again. Let's do some picks here. This is a tough week, I think, because ranked teams are going on the road to unranked teams, and the unranked teams are the favorites. Like first one we're going to pick. Oklahoma State is a 7-point underdog. They're number 8 in the country to unranked Iowa State. What do you think there?
Yeah, isn't it 7.5? Am I getting?
It might have gone up to 7.5 now, but when I put this together, it was 7. So we're leaving it at 7.
Okay. All right, we're doing it 7. Yeah, which I mean, this is one of those ones that's tricky. You think Vegas knows something here that we don't know. I like Oklahoma State. I had them last week. They took care of business, and I'm getting 7.5 with them this week against an unranked team, and they're number 8 in the country. I gotta take the points and hope. I think they're gonna win outright, but even if they lose, I think they can keep it close. So I'm taking the points with OK State.
Iowa State, remember, we talked about them as maybe a surprise team back in our college preview show, and then they suffered a couple of losses right off the bat. They're supposedly a very good team. They got a great quarterback, Brock Purdy. They got a really tough running back. His name escapes me off the top of my head, but he's a Heisman candidate, or was a Heisman candidate until they went on their slide. G Money likes Iowa State. I'm with you, though. I think Oklahoma State is an underdog getting points at number 8 in the country. You got to take that, right?
Yep. Okay. So,
right.
And we should win because G Money's got the other team. So.
I'm very afraid because the next game, Clemson was top 2 in the country. They're now unranked. They go on the road to 23. Pitt is a favorite in that game by 3.5. I'm not sure why. I happen to like Clemson. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Clemson too. I just think that this game will stay close enough that it should be a field goal either way. So even if they lose the game, as long as they keep it close, they can probably cover that 3.5-point spread. But I think there's a real good chance here that Clemson wins this game outright.
Well, they're getting the 3.5. Pitt's a favorite by 3.5.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Okay.
Clemson's getting. Yeah, I'm getting the points with them. But even if they lose, they shouldn't lose by more than a field goal.
No. By the way, this will make you a little nervous. G Money's taking Clemson too.
All right. Okay. Maybe we all know something there. That'll be his one win.
All right. Number 10, Oregon. Here's another one. Ranked team going on the road to UCLA. Unranked. UCLA was ranked early in the year. I think they was high as number 11. UCLA is favored by 1. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to take Oregon here. I think they're the better team just because they're going on the road is probably why the line is so small. But a 1-point favorite's basically like a pick 'em. So I'll take Oregon.
By the way, you know who else is going to be rooting for Oregon? Ohio State, because that loss gets uglier if Oregon loses 2 games, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's no longer a quality loss, so to speak, at that point in time. So I get Oregon as well. G Money went with UCLA. I don't know. I do like the chipper, but I think Oregon pulls this one out. All right, this is an interesting one. Tennessee goes to Alabama. Alabama, we know, is very mad after their loss. They're number 4 in the country now, down from 1. They actually moved up there to 5. Alabama's a 25-point favorite, but PB, listen to this. They're the 2 top highest scoring teams in the SEC. Alabama scores like at 40, I think it is, or 39, and Tennessee scores at like 34. Yet Alabama's a 25-point favorite. The math doesn't add up in my mind. What do you think?
Yeah. And I know you said at one point you're going to stop taking these big spreads off the college foreplay that we do. But I'll tell you, I always get nervous when I see these big lines in Vegas and what they know. And I think Bama's going to cover this. I'm going to predict a final score of 48-21, which would mean Bama wins by 27 with a line of 25. So I'm going to say that Bama covers the spread here.
I think Bama's defense in that loss was shown out. I think, and the same thing in the Florida game. They won that game, but it was much closer and a high-scoring game. If Tennessee plays their offense, they've got to be within 25 points, which is basically 3 touchdowns and a field goal, right? Or actually, more than 3 touchdowns and a field goal. It's 4 touchdowns.
So you're taking the points?
I'm going Tennessee. I know G Money is as well, which is kind of scary, but all right, you got Bama. All right, man.
All right. That's the only one we have different, me and you. The other 3 we have the same. So that should determine our week anyways. Okay.
And by the way, if Bama wins and covers, you're right. That we're no longer putting those on the board. All right, NFL. Cardinals are still unbeaten. It's hard to say, but they're playing awesome. Matter of fact, I don't even think we're picking them this week because they're so awesome. I think they're up by like a 17-point favorite the game they're playing, so they're not being.
Yeah, I think it went up to 18 even.
Oh, Buffalo.
The NFL.
Buffalo lost to Tennessee last week. Shock of shock. By the way, G Money did pick that game. Wow, Buffalo, Tennessee again. By the way, I was watching our show from last week again just before this, and I said at the very end, we both picked Tennessee, Buffalo, but I said, you know what? I'm very nervous. Mike Vrabel finds a way to get his team up for a game like this, right? And sure enough.
Yeah, you should have stuck with your guns.
Oh, man. But I did stick with my Cowboys. It got nervous last week against the Pats. Went to overtime. Probably one of the better games of the entire weekend, right?
Yeah, that was a great game. Yeah, I got a chance to see that one. It was on national TV, so good take.
Oh, my God. And Baltimore.
Just think if the Patriots had won that game, they'd be sitting at 3-3, and Buffalo would be 4-2. They'd be a game out of first place.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple games that you just scratch your head with the Pats this year, you know? So I don't know. Belichick is not pulling the right triggers this year. In Baltimore, I don't know. I know you're not a big Baltimore fan. They got 40 guys on IR, I think it is, or something like that. I mean, they're winning with friggin' smoke and mirrors, skeletons. If they keep winning, Lamar's going to run away and be the MVP this year, I think.
Yeah, that was an impressive victory last week. I didn't have him in my top 5 teams in the NFL. I had the Cowboys at 5, but because the Cowboys beat the Patriots, I don't know if I can move Baltimore into that category, but they certainly took care of it. I didn't have the Chargers in my top 5 either. They took care of the Chargers for sure. So Baltimore's right there on that cusp of top 5 to me. I'm not sure if they pick it yet, but we'll see this week. They got a good matchup with Cincinnati. So
That's right. Speaking of that, we're going to do some picks here. Last week, G Money 2-4. Boy, he really struggled. Football and college foreplay 1-3. Pick 6. He's 2-4. You were 500, 3-3, right? I came in at 4-2. We'll see how we do. This week is. Do you agree? This is the crappiest schedule in a long time. This week.
Yeah, this is a rough week. There's like 4 or 5 games on the board that are double-digit favorites, right? And a couple 14 points. I think Tampa is favored by like 12 or 13. You got the Rams who are playing Detroit that are favored by, a ton of points. And then Arizona's playing Houston and they're like 15, 16, 17 point favorites. I mean, that's insane in the NFL to see point spreads that high.
I had a hard time coming up with 6 games to pick. Usually we don't like to pick scrubs, but we're picking a couple scrub games because it's a close score, point spread, right?
Right. We pick the close games. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, the Panthers go to the Giants. That's going to be a close game, an ugly game to watch. What do you think there?
Yeah. I mean, the Panthers still without Christian McCaffrey, right? The Giants, though, they're kind of decimated. They're having difficult time wide receiver. I'm not sure if Tony, who looks pretty good, is going to play this week. Slayton's been hurt. The offensive line has really just been decimated. Saquon not playing. I mean, the Giants are probably one of the worst teams in the league right now. I mean, them and the Lions to me. So I can't take the Giants. There's no way. Even I'm not big on Carolina either, but Carolina will figure out a way to win this game.
I'm with you, PV. I'm like, why did I even put this on the table? But it was the only game was kind of close. So I did because I hopefully it's a tie. I don't know, but I did pick the Panthers.
All right.
Another game that's ugly this for this year, and it shouldn't have been this way. Your new home team, the Dolphins, they're hosting the Falcons. Dolphins are 1-5, right?
Yeah. Tough start for the Dolphins. Losing in London to Jacksonville last week was kind of a back break. Broke their backs a little bit. I'm going to the game tomorrow, to the Falcons game, so I'll be there to see it. I did like what I saw out of Tua's return. I did like the game Waddle had. Looked like he was leaning on Waddle a little bit last week. He had the best game of his young season, his young career. And I think they're going to bounce back. I think, Atlanta hasn't showed me much this year. I think the Dolphins can win this one. So at home, I'll take Miami.
Matty Ice wins this game somehow, some way. I'm going with Matty Ice. I love the guy. I got Falcons. Okay. G Money's got the Dolphins, by the way, and he has the Panthers in the other game.
Okay.
So we all picked the Panthers. All right. This is another game that probably, we just talked about these guys raving about them. The Ravens, they play Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's 4-2. They look good so far. Believe it or not, they're not in last place in that division, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and Cincinnati's been playing decent defense too, and the Ravens haven't. The Cincinnati, I think, has more talent on the field than the Ravens do. But the Ravens also have Lamar, and they've been pulling horseshoes out of their butt all year. But I think this is the week it stops. I think Cincinnati shows who they are.
Woo, okay.
And they win this game.
Wow, G Money like Cincinnati as well. I don't know. It's at home. Just for that reason, I'm taking Baltimore at home. I can't see them losing at home. All right. 2 teams that people thought were going to have a better season than they're having right now. Injuries have been a big problem, but the Colts go to the 49ers. G Money likes the Colts in that one, so I might want to give you a heads up. Who do you like? By the way, Jimmy G is playing, I think, correct?
Yeah, Jimmy G is playing. They had a bye last week. I think they can come out and take care of business. So I'm going to take the 49ers here.
Me too. I get the 49ers. I've been on them all season. I know they haven't fared well, but I'm sticking with them. I get them to win this game. All right. Next one up, the big one now. At the beginning of the season, I know you would not have thought this was going to be a tough game, but KC goes to Tennessee. And this now, after Tennessee's performance last week, is going to be a tougher game than people think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Tennessee is going to be an up and down team this year. I think they're going to win some games that we don't really expect them to, like last week against Buffalo. The writing is on the wall for this one. This should be a Derrick Henry feast on the ground. If Tennessee can control the clock and keep Mahomes off the field, run the ball effectively, all those things. But all that being said, I don't care. The time of possession of this game will probably lean in the favor of Tennessee, but every time Kansas City gets the ball, they're probably going to score. So I think at the end of the day, Kansas City wins this game. And I think they showed us a lot last week being down in Washington. That second half they played was pretty impressive. That defense in Washington, obviously not that good either, but Tennessee's is even worse. So I'm going to go the Chiefs in this one.
Man, I'm on the fence. I want to believe in Vrabel, but you're right. They're so up and down. It's a short week, right? Because they played on Monday night. I got to go with KC as well. So does G Money. I'm going KC too. So all three of us are going KC. Kansas City, this is the last time. KC, Josh, if your team does not win this game, you're done. You're out of our our fantasy. You're done with everything, buddy. We're done with you. All right, KC, we're riding you. All right, the last one of the week. This could be a good game. I know Russ is not playing for Seattle, but it's in Seattle. The Saints come to Seattle, the 12th man. They're going to need 13, I think, in this case. But what do you think?
Yeah, and the Saints are another one of those teams that they're up and down. They lost the game to the Giants this year.
Good Jameis, bad Jameis, right? You don't know which one you're going to get.
Exactly. And but Seattle's defense is pretty lame. Their pass defense is horrible. I think with Kamara and the ability to use Kamara in this game and probably control the clock a little bit, run when they want to run, probably short passes when they need to short passes, get first downs. I really think New Orleans should win this game, so I'm going to take the Saints.
G Money has Seattle, so guess what? I'm going with the Saints as well. All right. Good show. We'll do a little NBA preview coming up pretty soon. PB, enjoy the rest of your weekend, football weekend. It's a good one here in New England. Nice crisp day.
Don't we want to do the
go ahead. You got a couple trades for us real quick. Give it to us.
Yeah. Just
Dynasty trades. What do we got here? Dynasty trades. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Your thoughts on some fantasy trades. So hold on, I got to get to them here, but I have them right up. Yeah. All right. The first one is Cooper Kupp, Gerald Everett, and a 2024 third-round pick for DK Metcalf in Dynasty.
Oh, man.
Cooper Kupp's 28, right? DK Metcalf's 23. So you got to take that into consideration. Gerald Everett's a tight end that may not have any value. And that 2024 first round pick, depending on where that pick is.
I thought it was a third round pick.
Oh, it's a third round pick. Right. So even right.
Cooper Kupp with Stafford has got 2-3 more years in that role he plays. I think for 3 more seasons, I roll with him. And Everett is quietly, they don't use him that much this year, but you watch in the year, Everett will rack up some points. You know, DK Metcalf, by the way, if Russ is out for a while, DK Metcalf's season is done this year.
Yeah.
So you give away this year and Kupp, like I said, he rolls for a couple more seasons. I don't make that trade. I don't like it.
So you'd rather have Kupp, Everett, and the pick over Metcalf?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. I think Metcalf's a future star in this league, and I like him. I like getting Metcalf. I would give up those other resources. Now, if you're trying to win this year and you're trying to make the playoffs this year and you want to get those guys, I'm okay with that trade. But over the long term, I like having Metcalf.
I think it's a 3-year window. I believe Kupp with Stafford, along with Everett as well. He's going to be around for 3 more seasons. I like that's a 3-year roll. Metcalf, yeah, okay. Maybe he's going to be on a roll for 6 years. After this, I mean, I think this year you get nothing out of him with Russ out for 4 or 8 weeks. So,
okay, all right. Here's another one. Next, couple young running backs: Javonte Williams, who does look like pretty promising. He had a really nice catch and run for a touchdown on Thursday night for Denver. Yep. Also, Michael Carter, running back out of UNC, right?
2 teammates. Both of them are UNC. They both played together at UNC.
Oh, that's right. They were backmates in North Carolina. Okay. And then you have that plus a 2024 first round pick. So Williams, Carter, and a 2024 first rounder for Mike Evans and Saquon Barkley. Dynasty.
If I'm the one that's trading the running backs to get for that, No, but if I'm the one receiving the running backs, I like that trade.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I think Saquon, I hate to say it, we joked about it in text, but Saquon is another, much like Ohio State quarterbacks, another Penn State running back who is not going to bloom well, unfortunately due to injury for him. Same as Kajana Carter, right? The list goes on with Penn State running backs drafted in the top 5.
Blair Thomas would have been
Blair Thomas, another one. Yep.
So I agree with you. I like getting the young running backs, Williams and Carter, and plus you're getting a first rounder in 2024. Who knows what that pick's going to be and who that player is going to end up being on that team. But, Mike Evans been in the league 7 years. He's only 28. He's still got some years in him. He's got Brady throwing to him for a couple years, hopefully. But from a dynasty perspective, to me, he only got a couple years in him, and Saquon could be done. So I definitely like the receiving end on those young running backs. So
yeah, for sure, definitely.
All right, man.
Nice. All right, good trade talk. BB, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
All right, you as well.